You can recall that in Evolution Week we covered first order inequity aversion in primate species, including macaques. They protested in aggressive ways when they received less desirable rewards, in comparison to macaques whom they observed receiving more desirable rewards. Evolutionary psychologists interpret this behavior as representative of a precursor to the human sense of fairness. This aversion to rewards not matching contribution in primates is considered to be sort of the roots of this moral concern about fairness. It certainly seems that kids do not like it when they get less than their peers. Developmental psychologists have explored children's aversion to inequity using specially designed experiments that work like simple games that allow that inequity aversion to be traced. Katie McAuliffe and Peter Blake, for example, have been leaders in this research, and they use an inequity aversion game with kids. So they constructed this apparatus that involved an actor who gets to pull the lever of the apparatus and a recipient who receives whatever the actor decides. And we're talking about Skittles as the resource here. Here's a clear view of the apparatus. The actor's levers are on the left there, the red and the green bars. The recipient is situated on the right. And in the middle are a couple of platforms, and the experimenter dispenses Skittles. And they do it in a seemingly random way, but of course there's conditions that they're tracking. And they dispense Skittles to both of the children. So here you can see that the agent just got one Skittle, a green one, and the recipient actually got 4 Skittles. Now the actor has 2 choices about what to do about this situation. The actor has all the power and determines the payoffs for both of them. He has 2 choices: accept the distribution, and in that case he gets 1 and the recipient gets 4. To do that, he'd pull the green bar. Or he can choose to reject the distribution, and in that case they both get nothing. All the Skittles kind of go into this center bowl that no one has access to. And you do that by pulling the red lever. Let's look at the key comparison. The experimenters were interested in the number of times kids would reject disadvantageous inequity. So that's when they themselves had less than the recipient, the kid across the table. In that last example, that would be disadvantageous inequality. And that is the child with 1 and the partner with 4. And they wanted to see the number of rejections for disadvantageous inequality, 2 cases where there is equality, where each child gets 1 Skittle, for example. And this was a within subject comparison, so there were several trials, and sometimes the child would get the same amount as the partner, and sometimes they would be unequal in this way. And they also wanted to compare their rejections of equality to their rejections in cases of advantageous inequality. So in this case, the actor gets 4 Skittles, and the partner recipient gets just 1. And their question is that actor still going to reject inequality if it's them that benefits? This would demonstrate a high level of fairness sensitivity. Let's check out the results. For disadvantageous inequality, where the kid who can pull the levers got less than his partner, this graph indicates the proportion of rejections in 3 different age brackets of kids: 4 and 5-year-olds, 6 and 7-year-olds, and 8 and 9-year-olds. So what did they find for rejections of the Skittle allocations across these age groups? Let's look first at the conditions where they got equal allocations, where each kid had 1 Skittle. As you can see here, rejections are very low. So participants here, less than 10% on average throughout development, from age 4 up to age 9, are rejecting equal allocations. And that shouldn't be surprising. But what about when they got less than their partner? Cases of disadvantageous inequality. Here you can see in yellow the rejection rate in that condition. It ranges from around 40% for 4 to 5 year olds, and then it jumps up to 70% of the time, the rejecting disadvantageous inequality for 6 and 7 year olds, and all the way up to about 80% of the time they're rejecting this inequality for 8 to 9 year olds. So a gradually increasing awareness of being disadvantaged in an unequal allocation. These results indicate that children have a sensitivity to personally disadvantageous inequality, and it overrides a desire for delicious Skittles. They'll toss that one Skittle just to have the partner's 4 Skittles get tossed as well. And we saw that this sensitivity to inequality gains in intensity over development.